Raise your horns high and let your spirit flow. It's the classic metal wrap-up show. Feel the rush, let the loudness grow. It's the classic metal wrap-up show.
The spirit of Mike Howe swing by, and what a nice guy. He's just as nice in the afterlife as he is or was in person.
Mm-hmm. I told you guys I was working the Ouija board. It wasn't quite working out too well, so I hit up some mystical hippie chicks here in Oregon who told me about this store that had crystal balls that were supposed to help do this kind of stuff. So I went and got the crystal balls. I picked up the sage, and between the sage, the crystal balls, and the Ouija board.
Wait a minute. You tie it all into Oregon. Southern Oregon, crystal ball, witch, emissary, the crystal witch.
Yeah, exactly. This is
what the hell?
This is all. There's a thing, kind of a theme going on out here. Oregon has a town called Salem too.
Right, they do.
So the point is that we were able to channel Mike Howe. I thought that would help buy me some time. As you guys can see, I've been on the road. I had to get back from Wendell's house to Oregon, and when I got to Oregon,
it's like Sirius XM, huh?
Yes, and so when I got to Oregon, there was a message waiting for me in my email saying, would you be interested in heading to Las Vegas? And so I said, what for? And it was for Sirius XM. So they haven't announced anything yet because it's still being negotiated in the works. But, if Howard Stern's going to leave a chair and maybe Eddie Trunk's moving up a chair, maybe that opens up a chair. And Eddie's birthday was going on, so he threw me the keys to the Sirius XM studio. So why don't you do the wrap-up show here? So here I am in Las Vegas at the Sirius XM studios at the Wynn. And Ed's down. He's partying with Mancuso and those other guys.
Coker.
We'll talk about that
jeans.
just a little bit. Yeah. All his friends. So he's having a good time. But the best part about all this is really, if you think about it, when the opportunity came for Sirius and Eddie to look for some other radio talent to come aboard, if there is going to be a departure from certain people at the top, they weren't looking at Wendell or Aiken. No,
right.
Not at all. He said, if I ever see Wendell's t-shirt again, I'm throwing it in the trash.
There you go.
But he said, you are obviously cool. And I said, I appreciate that. And he said, I think your show's doing just fine. Just needs a better platform. So we're in negotiations. Nothing's said. This is just a trial. I can do the wrap-up show here today because Ed's down there partying on the strip and having a good time with his friends, probably chatting, having a couple of cocktails at a second home. Right. So, yeah.
Right.
So we have things to cover because there was a wrap-up show last night, or at least a CMS show last night. So we have a wrap-up show to do all about the CMS last night. And
oh boy,
it sounds like Wendell flew to a Dawkins show. Well, let's just start our show the way they start their show. It's been a busy week.
Time is flying by.
I only got to touch base with you, Ruben, for just a few minutes before the show, and I was working so much.
Right.
But, earlier in the week, I took some time out for myself, and I booked a flight late Sunday, and headed out to South Dakota, 20 miles from Sturgis, and got a hotel room, and I partied with BJ and Chris and John Levin.
Oh, boy.
And no Don, because Don doesn't show up until the day of the show.
Mm-hmm.
Barely hangs out at all because he's old. And it was such a peaceful place. It was so peaceful. Everybody was so nice.
Yeah, nobody was there.
Well, nobody's there, and they're all white.
Yeah, right.
And they're all on motorcycles, and it feels like I'm amongst my people. Oh.
I don't know if you caught there was a point where he made reference of all the people that trucked in their bikes, and Aiken took a swipe at him and said, that could be you next year.
I think 110% that is going to be Neely very soon. Next year, might even Daytona this year, or whatever bike out rallies that are going on. First off, he mentioned that the flight was so short. Well, if the flight's
Hmm.
so short, couldn't you just drove? Or I mean,
Right.
he acts like I don't know. I'm not. I can't. I don't live in those places, so I don't know how it is, man. And I don't know for you, Ruben, up there in Northern Oregon, but here in Southern Oregon, nothing's close. Nothing's. I'm in the mountains. Nothing's close by.
Right.
That's where I choose to live. I don't live in the city. So when you live in the mountains, you're gonna have to drive off somewhere to get someplace. It's not uncommon for me to go an hour or two anywhere to go do
Right.
stuff, whether that's a concert or a movie or this or that, whatever I'm doing. Better shopping, better food, whatever it is I want to go find and seek. It's not going to be in the mountains where I'm at. For them, it seems like they're in the middle of America. Would it be if it was a
Yeah.
2 hour flight? Is it a 4 hour drive? Wouldn't you
Right.
just jump in your
I
truck
mean,
and you got this brand new truck with all
right.
this features and stuff? Wouldn't you want to comfortably cruise right over there and or bring your truck with a trailer and your
Right.
motorcycle in it and go
Hmm.
spend a couple days at Sturgis? Right? If I,
Yeah.
that's what I would
Yeah,
do.
if you have a bike,
But
right, and you just
well,
recently got your license, so it's like your endorsement. Why not make
you got the
best of it?
truck.
Yeah,
If you
you
didn't
got the
have the
truck.
trailer, you could go to U-Haul and rent a
Hmm.
trailer, hook it to your truck, and put your bike in there and strap it up and say, "Hey, Don, I'll meet you there for Monday, but Tuesday
Right.
and Wednesday I'm riding around Sturgis and seeing the sights." Or what?
Why
I
not?
don't know. That's just what I would do. But
Yeah.
seems like money's not an issue for him.
Yeah.
Brother Wendell, you're my older brother. Listen to your younger brother. Have some fun, my friend. Live life a
Yeah.
little bit. Loosen the belt a little bit, my friend. You're
Right.
wound so tight. You're
Yeah.
so worried about. Just
Hmm.
loosen the belt. Go see what those boys are doing at Sturgis and having fun. You might actually fucking forget about the CMS, forget
Right.
about Dawn, and just have fucking good times with chicks and booze and some brothers having. I'm just
Right.
saying.
And they're all
So-
white. I mean, he's like in heaven.
You're amongst your people. So what do you? Why would you not stay and party there? That's where you
Right.
should be chit chatting and having cocktails. And on top of that, you and I both know, Ruben, that's where some of the best bands in
Oh, yeah.
rock are at right now. Tesla's there.
Tesla.
Go find some
Jackal.
people and make some other interviews while you're there, making a whole
Right.
thing. I don't know. I mean, I'm sure if you had reached out ahead of time and said, I'm going to be there during these days. And so anyway, I can get a 10, 15 minutes with Frank Hannon before he
Sure.
goes or after on stage to say hi. Something. There was someone would talk to you. Someone would advertise something. So just saying. Anyways, seemed like missed opportunities if you ask me, but hey,
Sure.
that's on him. But as usual, the show starts with what? Them rambling on. about
Rambling,
daily life.
yeah, the computer shit, whatever, time's flying by, work, dawn, it's just the typical shit. AI.
Yep. AI is taking over. So the good
Yeah.
news is we got some honesty, which I appreciate from Chris. And that honesty was that the AI is taking over the IT business. So there really is no IT business. So he's like going to lose his company. He's got to revamp his company. And so he's trying to learn AI to kind of stay on the cutting edge of technology.
Yeah, but think of how many people had to jump on that, 6 months, 9 months, 12 months ago.
How many though are in Ohio doing small business
Yeah.
websites? Or
Right.
he probably has a little market there he could work for a while. But even my point is like long term, that's not going to be even that's going to pretty
Yeah.
soon AI is going to do everything. I'm just going to talk in the phone, make Evil Knievel do this, and there's going to be a video and it's going to do all that. So, what we can I just say this once and for all here? A lot of what I hear on the CMS, and this is, I guess back in the old days when I listened to the show, I didn't really notice as much because I was listening to the guests and the callers and the topics of the rock things, the Def Leppard crews, the real Jeff Tates, the Bob Leathers, the Bravermans. I wasn't listening to them in their lives. The more I listened to them in their lives, I realized that they're just boomers who are out of touch, who are not staying, even trying to stay kind of in the loop. And even if you're not going to be in the loop, just do what anyone, like I'm a Gen Xer. So my thought process is if I'm not going to fit in, I'll just step aside. I don't need to be in your way, dude. Go do whatever you got to do. I'm old and slow. They don't do that. They want everyone, these young guys are doing this and they don't do that. Bro, that is the way it's going to be. You have no say. Your time has come and passed. You're on the down final years of your life, bro. Just be straight. If you're 63, Wendell, or 62, you got 10, 15, maybe 20 years. You're not going to be like your father Dayton, dude. It's not happening. He was eating turnips and fucking drinking fresh water and never had nothing.
He was
single
living the
poison into
clip clop
body.
lifestyle.
Yeah, on the
healthy
Amish
lifestyle.
country. Okay, anyone that's living in modern day world is going to get 80 something years at best if they stretch it out with medical procedures and shit going on. So come on, dude. Really, just realize that you're not You're not hip. You're not in. I'm not hip. I'm not in. And this is not anything you're doing is just for funds, for shits and gigs. And for you at Aiken doing your career thing, I'm trying to say on this point, which I'm trying to get around to here, is that even learning the AI, I don't know how long that's going to last there, pal. How many Twinsburg, Ohio businesses need you to talk into their fucking machine to make something happen for them? So maybe that's probably why the locals and probably why all the commercials and probably why all these things have come aboard as he's trying to generate income.
Well, I don't know if you caught the coffee commercial. Well, all the commercials when he does those, you see his face in HD. Holy fuck! Like I was DMing you guys. I mean, he looks like a zombie from The Walking Dead doing an ad for the fucking 1776 coffee or whatever the fuck he was plugging. I mean, it's horrific. His fucking skin is gray and his eyes are all bloodshot and fucking red. Eek.
Lack of sleep.
Yeah, poor bastard.
Yeah. And I'm not blaming him for that. If that's how you look, just be cognizant of it and then mask it and or just put up a graphic
Yeah.
and talk behind
And don't
the
rate
graphic.
women. Jesus Christ, don't rate women when you look like that.
That's the part that's really hard in any way for anyone. And all you sycophants in the chat rooms,
Yeah.
and some of you just completely old because you're old boomers too. You're 60 plus, and
don't you get the vibe that everybody, majority, let's say the majority of the people in that chat room are already shit faced and high, by the time
and they have nothing better to do on a Saturday night.
they're
So
losers.
they're in the chat room, fucking wrapping it up amongst the 20 of them, while these two old guys fucking bitch about young people and talk trash about women who are way better looking than anything they could ever
they
hope
could
to have.
never get.
So yeah, so that's all weird. It's all weird.
The whole
what's
thing
going
is
on there.
fucking weird.
And no
And
lack
no
of
metal,
self.
no metal in the conversation unless you're bashing Greta Van Fleet or
And
anybody
then,
like that.
yeah, and then when they do get to it, like with Roth, then they're just going to talk about the cheap shots. He's a
Yeah.
Jew. Look at his nose. Fuck, dude. How many times do we
Yeah.
got to hear stupid
Yeah.
shit like that, dude?
Yeah.
That's some fucking straight 1950s dumb
Sure.
shit, bro.
Yeah.
So come on. Don't get me wrong. There's a plenty to knock Roth for, but it's not his looks or where his ethnicity or racial or religion, any of that kind of stuff that's going on. It has nothing to do with it. What's going on is you knock what's on stage, which is the dude's reverting. And I agree with this.
Yeah.
I'm a Roth fan.
Oh, sure.
But I'm agreeing. He started out the first couple shows with this run with this band, kind of tight, kind of trying to present it like I'm back, I'm Roth. And he's over 3 or 4 shows loosened back into complete. I don't even know what he's doing.
Whatever the
dude.
fuck he's doing.
Not singing on time. He's just talking words now. He's just like while the guys are doing all this singing, and whoo, it's. I'm a Roth fan, and it's a tough watch. Right
Yeah.
now, I can fully say if you said here's a free ticket to go see David Lee Roth at your county fair, I would be like, the band makes me want to see it, but not
Yeah.
him.
Yeah. Yeah, I think it would have to be a decent opener. Then at least you
He's
can
almost-
justify.
He's almost more entertaining to me just talking and being Dave than
Right.
trying to sing the songs at all. Maybe his career just needs to be in Vegas going,
Yeah.
hey. I'm just
Yeah.
saying, dude, that's way more entertaining to me than trying to sing these songs way out of key, way off time, way the melody's lost. I don't know what you're doing, dude. So
Yeah.
even when they get to that, they go to that, which is like, okay, low hanging fruit, but this say it's current because that was a current Ross show. But immediately when I was hearing that last night while I'm washing dishes, I'm thinking, what about Dawn? Let's play some video of Dawn in the last couple of months.
Dawn's
let's
awful.
see. Would you? I again now, if you said here, evil, here's a gun, and you can go see Dawkins. Or you can go see Roth.
Oh, Roth.
I'm probably gonna go see Roth. His
Yeah.
band's better, even though he's doing some fucked up shit vocally. At
He's
least
mobile. He's funny.
At least you can hear what he's saying. He's not whispering into the microphone. And
Right.
and then taking a seat because he needs a breather because
Yeah.
George Lynch's guitar solo is going too long.
Yeah.
At least when this guy's doing a long Eddie solo, Ross like, hey,
Yeah.
he's doing the solo,
Right.
doing the Ross
Right.
shit off to
Yeah.
the side of the stage like he
Yeah.
always does. So
Sure.
I'm just saying, and Ross fit. You cannot knock Ross for
No.
that. For his age, man, has got no extra weight. He's clearly in shape. He probably could outrun me or you right now in a
Oh, yeah.
marathon. So,
Sure.
hey, you can't knock him there. It's just the vocal performance is
Yeah.
less than. So, but
Right.
even when they bring that, that's what they had for us last night. What other rock music did they talk about? I think everything else was
Greta Van Fleet. Remember when they were talking? Yeah,
and
but
the Dawkins show and
yeah,
that and whatever.
yeah,
And he blamed
yeah.
the Dawkins show for being on a Monday night and no one
Yeah.
being there. Which, if they've been partying
It's
since
summer.
Thursday, Friday, Saturday, I totally could understand how that tail end of Sturgis might not have the people that you would expect. But if Don had any weight or pull or whatever, he would have said, "Hey, if you want Don Dawkins, I'm playing on Thursday, Friday, Saturday, or Sunday, not Monday."
Mm-hmm.
Right? I mean, come on, dude. There's got to be some other band they could have.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I'm not the guy. I'm not the manager, not the promoter. Don probably just saw the dollar bills in front of his face and said, "I don't give a fuck whether there's 50 people or
Right.
not. Let's go." So
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
that's fine. If that's what there's been, I've as a musician and as a guy who works for musicians, I played plenty of gigs and done plenty of gigs where there was no one there, but they're paying us. So what the fuck? I've had people have a big old party thinking that they're gonna have hundreds of people for their private party, and then there's like 75 people, and you're paying all this money to the sound guy and the band and the food and the drinks and the this and the that. Hey, but some of these guys, they ain't no thing. If they got the right corporation job, whatever, they run their own companies, they got money to spend, they don't care, dude. So a guy at Sturgis having people drinking and
Right.
biking all weekend, a couple extra thousand to docking at the end of the weekend. If he already made a shit ton of money all weekend, have at it, Don. So not knocking him for it, just saying maybe next time, dude, say, hey, why is Dawkins not opening for Tesla?
Mm-hmm.
That seems like the logical
Or Jackal.
you know, yeah,
right?
Jackal and
Yeah.
Doc and Jackal and Tesla, or Jackal,
Yeah.
Doc and Tesla, or some
Right.
kind of, that seems like the lineup. Why was one way over here? And
Mm-hmm.
figure that out. I don't know.
Yeah.
I know sometimes they at Sturgis they do have country, and they do have that on
Mhm.
certain nights, and then you're gonna have a country stage with the country bill and all the country guys. So that's fine, whatever. But I'm just saying there is definitely room for the biker brothers to hear their rock music, and usually it involves a couple of rock acts. Usually, I think that's at the Full Throttle, but I could be wrong. And I'm thinking Don needs to go to the man over at Jackal, and who knows the guys in Full Throttle, and say, "Why can I not be playing with you?" Maybe he doesn't have that tie. I don't know. You would think by now
Or maybe-
Jesse James Dupree knows
or-
Don Dokken.
Or maybe he has that reputation of being a fucking dick that he can't get in there.
Yeah, or maybe the price he's asking is not what he's worth, and
Laughable,
not what they're
right?
willing to pay to put him in the spot that he'd want to be in, where the people would actually be in front of him. So he's choosing the money over choosing the spot that would have the more opportunity for more faces in front of him. I don't know. I'm just throwing
Yeah.
that out there. I have no knowledge. I'm not Wendell. I'm not back there velcroing the shoe and getting the microphone
Zipping up his
set-
pants and pulling up his
Triple
depends.
twirl.
You know, jeez.
So whatever. I'm not, again, Don. I'm just saying, dude. Again, seems like some proper pre-show thought process, contract workings, and negotiations might have negated you playing to 25 people on a Monday night at 10 o'clock with nobody left, because everybody rode home by Monday, I'm sure. So I'm pretty sure that party starts Wednesday, the week before.
Yeah.
It goes all the way to Monday. So you want to be there on those first few days. By Monday, people are 7 days in, or 6 days, not 5, 6 days in. They're tired. So, anyways, that's that. That's all they really had. Everything else was, I don't know, nothing else I was interested in hearing, or
Nothing worthwhile. I mean, it was all just a bunch of gibberish. What was interesting, I don't know if you caught when they were talking about everything comes to an end, and then even Chris goes, well, if we ever got, basically if the show just kind of dragged on, that he would vote to shorten it or just do away with it at some point. And I'm like, bullshit. I mean, it's already at that point. It's already been several months of just this horse shit, cookie cutter nonsense.
Aiken is the realist. And speaking from a position of having a lot of shows and things going on, so he's not lacking in a way to hear his voice on another platform talking. But what was interesting about some of those conversations is when he was suggesting some of this, he said, well, yeah, it's not getting on the mic and doing the talking. Then when I'm doing that, I'm fine. It's getting myself to the microphone and do the talking. It's the hours beforehand. I dread getting in here to do all this, knowing how long it's going to take and whatever. And Neely went straight to, well, once you're in here, though, the time just flies by.
Yeah,
You don't
right.
even
Yeah,
notice
for
that.
him.
Just glosses over Aiken's concern. This show's going on way too long. And even last night, there was towards the end of the show, almost like Wendell was going to be pushing for another segment or more. And Aiken was like, nah, let's do this and wrap it up.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, and I was kind of with him. I was like, dude, Neely, how late do you want to go? What do you,
Because he needs his precious camera time. Again, it's
well,
driven by Neely.
so why wouldn't he just say that there's going to be Neely Radio Hour Friday nights when I'm available, or even what is he doing Wednesday after work for 2 or 3 hours? Make it Neely his Wednesday radio show,
right.
and he plays the songs and takes the calls or the emails, and I understand the partnership with Aiken. I'm doing this with you, and I prefer that. But also, if there was ever something I wanted to do that you were not available to do or not wanting to do, why I wouldn't be like, well, hey, I'm just gonna go over here and do this on the side. It's not gonna affect the show. I'll be over here on a separate night doing something else. I even was floating the idea just because I know we're gonna hear these claims from those of you in the comments and the people.
Right.
There's an Evil Keneally Facebook page now, so you can stop trying to find my personal ones and fucking dredging me with messages about shit that has nothing to do with my personal life, that has to do with the show or the this character that I am. So just hit the Evil Keneally right there on Facebook. You'll see me. You'll find it. Message that one. I will get to you eventually. But the point of that is that where was I going with that? Oh, I was thinking in my mind, maybe we would do a 1 hour once a month actual live chat. We're live on a platform, and you guys get in the chat room and make comments, and I'll read them, and you can make fun of us or them or whatever and talk shit and be dicks. And unlike Aiken, I won't kick you out when you say something that offends me. I won't even disagree with your comment. I'll just read it like anything else and laugh when it's funny. And if it's not funny and stupid, I'll say it's not funny and stupid.
Yeah.
But and that's, but so the point is, because I know some people have been messaging me saying how they have no voice, which by the way has led to more former CMS guests who we all like and enjoy reaching out to Evil Keneally more and saying, hey. So I think I even shared one recently that we thought wasn't going to be in, might be coming back in because he realizes there's no Vine to be had with the CMS anymore.
Right.
So, and just like and Kendall put this in. I just want to say this. Kendall put this in there last week, and I totally agree with this. We're the whack pack. We're the whack pack of the CMS. We're the leftovers. Howard left us behind and did his own thing. Now that's those guys, and we are over here doing a wrap up show for all the former whack packers and the funny people who are on the show and talking the shit and things that we want to talk. And I'm trying, and you are trying to run it in a way that's rock and metal music related, funny, and also open to say whatever you want, even if I don't agree or don't like what you're saying. I don't really give. I'm not Wendell. I'm not so fucking hung up with myself that I'm gonna take it personal. I'm gonna go home and feel bad.
Right.
That's never gonna happen. I get done here. I take the shit off. I don't think about you guys till I look at you guys again when I want to. So.
Right. Yeah. Well, again, it just seemed to me like Chris had mentioned that, and I'm like, because he said, if the show, something about the show just kind of drags on for months and months. And I'm like, it's already done that. It's been doing that since they. When was that? When was the turning point? I think the turning point was when you popped on there. On the phone call.
2024 was a hard year for it, in my opinion. It was starting this repetitive, not an agenda or a platform. I don't know what the word is, an outline for the show, the way they do it. It was this repetitive thing. And I kind of remember thinking to myself, I don't remember that being like that before. It seemed like they would just pop on, talk, and then go right into something. And then, this guy's on the line, or there's an email that says that, it was a little more interactive. And so, this new format of us just talking about our lives, and we're just going to forget everyone else. So around those last, I say 2020, because pandemic, you had nothing better to do besides listen, right?
Right.
I mean, you were listening to everything under the sun. You're at home with nothing to do. So in the 2019s, 2020s, 2021s, I've listened to old shows, new shows, whatever I get my hand on, By the time we get to 2020, 2023, I feel like it starts slowing down. The guests start not coming on less and less. And when there was a guest, I was excited, but it seemed like it was so rare and in between. And I'm like, I'm listening to them do this stuff that they're now doing more and more of. And so I would really say it's the last 2 or 3 years. It's been a slow downhill, not as exciting, not having Braverman, not having Bob Leather, not having we could go on. Jeff Tate, real Jeff Tate, Veronica, even like I said before, even she to me and brought different things, and anyone could bring
What?
outside stuff that might be funny. Or
No
different
Jericho
takes.
Green. No
No Jericho
Jericho Green.
Green.
You know, I
They
mean,
weren't even. Where's Lou from the Lou?
right? Lou
Where's
from the
there's a
Lou.
lot of guys, and a lot of people who are calling in and getting
And they're
their
not
words
taking
in,
their
and
calls. But you know
that's why they're not there.
who's become a regular presence and a fucking hysterical one is Tim James on that Trunk Facebook page. It's like
Yes.
he's focused on that, and that's where he gets a little bit of his uses that as an outlet to kind of chime in with his opinions. And I think it's funny. I mean, I agree with
Yes.
some of them not so
there-
much. But it's
yeah.
not gonna I'm not gonna get bent over it because it's like it's
No.
his opinion.
And that's another person we might be reaching back out to
Mm-hmm.
have back on the show again sometime, so he has an outlet to talk and discuss music and things he wants to get into. Because I think we're more than happy to chop it up. But yeah, that's where it started. Now, for me personally, where it went from being listener and no one knew who I was to crossing the line was when I started feeling like this guy who I'm suspecting is weird. That was my suspicion. He's weird.
Mm-hmm.
There's weird things about him, the Amish lifestyle, the way he talks, the
Yeah.
the this and that. And now I'm from the West Coast. I ain't from up north. I'm not used to the way these guys talk and think. Maybe that's a normal thing for upper Pennsylvania, Ohio, but where I'm from, no. And so it was all weird. And then the stories about sleeping on the couch while someone was with on and on. Then he's bragging about racing race cars and wearing helmets when he looked goofy as fuck.
Yeah.
And then when I got in the chat rooms with Andrew and the group and realized there's other people who are feeling like this besides me,
Right.
that just started my interaction with other people. But even then, I wasn't willing to make myself known because I had no reason to. I'm not that ego driven or ego filled. But what then happened was I did feel like when I and some other people brought up in the group, not even on the show, in the group, why do they not talk about Dawn the way they talk about Vince, Roth? At the time, they were railing Jeff Keith for sounding like
Right.
Cartman. They
Yeah.
railed on Mark Slaughter. They railed on Mark Torian.
Mike
They
Tramp.
railed on a lot of guys vocally. Yeah, but Don Dokken was never mentioned. And I'm watching videos and going, this guy sounds like shit.
He's
like
the worst.
not just like kind of bad. Like he's the worst of he at the number one top of the list for of not vocally ability to fucking cut what used to be is
Right.
this guy. I'll take Mark Torian 10 times out of 10 times over Don Dokken for a 2-hour set.
well, think
So
about Mark.
I'm just telling you.
Mark can dance. He can play guitar. I mean, he can
Yes.
still sing to a degree. I mean, he's an entertainer.
Yes, he's not going to hit certain notes, but
Right.
he will get through other songs and make it listenable.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just saying. So to me, that was weird. And then when I brought it up, we got. Well, there's people in the thing that are asking
Yeah.
why they're going. They don't understand it's your friend, dude. Okay, that's cool. But you said that this was an open show where everyone has a voice and there's no censorship. So again, why could we not voice the opinion that Don Dawkins not good? If Wendell doesn't want to participate in that conversation, say Don's my friend. I don't participate in this conversation, but you all can talk about and analyze whatever you want on my show. That's the way I would do it if I was him. But he didn't. It was you can't go there. That's weird, dude. Again, so then he says, well, we're nothing special. Get a microphone, do your own show. He said that multiple times on multiple shows. That comment was towards people like me, Andrew, you, Jason Lundgren, other people in the groups calling out things, saying this is weird. Slowly, we're not being allowed to even be in the chat rooms. That's what made me come out. And then I created the character. Then it was like, what is this? Called me out in the chat. I called in. I'm willing to come on, be in the chat room. I'm willing to be in the room in your face, physically in person, motherfucker. Unlike you guys who hide behind screen names and BS and behind the scenes, let's sabotage his interview with Don Dokken by fucking feeding him some bullshit. All this stuff, dude, it's bullshit. So
Yeah, that was
if
lame.
if the show's dying, it's by your own hand, Wendell. And if the show's dying, Chris knows it, is trying to jump off the sinking ship. He's trying to tell you that, but you're not getting the message. If you have any sense and want to keep the show going, cut it back to 2 or 3 hours tops, dude.
Yeah.
Keep it to just rock and metal news. Get
No
rid
music.
of this political, social
Yeah.
Don't read me articles off USA Today or New York Times or whatever
Yeah.
you're doing, dude. I don't need to hear that stuff. I can read my own news articles. I don't
Right.
need you reading me. if it was rock or metal related, like Roth is in an ambulance, being an ambulance man
Sure.
in New York City today, okay, well then that's something different. But if it's just sometimes you're going on political jags or personal feelings and personal cultural opinions, societal opinions that we don't all share, bro.
Or I dislike the gays and the trans, you know. I
And
mean,
the
that's-
blacks and the
yeah,
Mexicans
yeah,
and anybody
everybody.
else, Indians, man, it goes
Yeah.
on about the Indians forever. So, hey, get it. We get it, bro. We get where you're coming from there, Klansman. Just don't
He's like-
expect the
he's
rest
like a
of us to be Klansmen. That's
He's
what I'm
like a
saying.
he's a one-trick pony. He really is. I mean, that's
So
it.
if your show's going down, that's why. It's not because of Evil. Evil just pointed out that the ship was sinking. Evil took your challenge and got a microphone, got a guy and other guys behind the scenes to make a show, dude. You said we couldn't do it. We did it. And now if your show's dying and ours is growing, well, I'm sorry. Now, will we never be on your level? No, because it's 2025. We're just podcasters and there's
Yeah.
millions of us out there podcasting. But we don't
Right.
have the ego that you do. We don't care if it could be 5 people. It could be 85 million people. Evil's still going to go on here and do what I'm doing because I'm having fun doing it. And I'm doing it honestly because it was a vacuum, a power vacuum. Like the space needed to be filled. It's fucked up, dude. And other shows were not doing it either. So in my opinion,
Yeah.
I think there is some other cool shows, but even they don't always, but so
Right.
my vision was part comedy, part rock and metal news, because again, to me, half of the stuff that goes on in this scene is fucking comical. So,
Yeah.
which let's get to some comical stuff. Let's get past the CMS because the CMS is dying. Let's get to some comical stuff. And so I'm in the Sirius XM studios in Las Vegas. Ed's out partying for his birthday, and we have 2 photos to show you of Ed partying for his birthday, and we want to bring them to you because we think this is stuff that if you didn't see it on social media, you'll want to check it out.
Let's see here.
And unlike Aiken and Neely, we don't really have any personal beef against Ed. It was more some of the funniness of the actual photos of where he's at and what he's doing.
Trying to see here. There it is.
Although some people were, in the comments in that particular group, which we know that group has kind of become
There we are. Can you see that?
it's popping up right now, generating. So hold on, screen sharing. There it is. All right. So photo number 1. So we have a large pack of individuals here,
Yeah.
and maybe Ruben can help us sort out who some of these people are because
I'll tell you the
recognize some
ones
of
I
them.
know who the one.
Okay.
This is Danny Coker, the counting cars guy,
Yes.
the vamped guy. This is Stacy Blades, this guy here with the
So that's not Ronnie Radke.
no, it's not Radke. It's Stacy Blades, a Canadian who now lives in Las Vegas, who actually was in LA Guns at one point.
Yes,
And
I
then here we
remember
got
the name.
Ron Mancuso, who
Cuso
again
from-
has this Neely thing where he's addicted to the Just for Men. I mean, he's got look at this black.
And you guys, if you guys don't know, he was briefly in Red Dragon Cartel.
Right,
He owns a
yeah.
restaurant here in Las
Right.
Vegas. Yes.
Yes, and was in that band Beggars and Thieves with.
Yes.
Well, I think that's who this is. I think that's Phil Susan getting buried by Skinny Jeans' hair.
Skinny Jeans snuck in.
So that's the only people I know. I mean, I don't know who the rest of these guys are. They're all basically D-leaguers, I think.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, now some of these I can't take claim to coming up with because they were in the comments and the comments were funny as shit. But I couldn't take a picture of every single comment. But there were some funny things that people. So I'm gonna point out to you what we were bringing up. So the guy over here in the lower left with the ball cap, the bottom
This guy.
there, right below, yeah.
It looks like
almost
he's the guy from The Walking Dead.
Yeah, or like a hobo Scott Travis.
Almost.
That's
true.
They pulled him off the Vegas Strip. He just lost all his money at the slot machine, threw on the ball cap, and he's looking for a couple of free beers and a cheeseburger.
He's looking.
Okay,
for,
and then we got Danny Coker up
Yep,
there. We
right.
know who he is, right? It's the guy over to his left behind him in
This guy.
between. That's like an Italian mob boss that's fresh off the casino floor. Who's probably. I mean,
Yeah.
I don't know. He just
He
looks like
almost
somebody.
looks
He's
like-
got to be.
It looks like Bob Ezrin, but I don't think it is. There's no way Bob Ezrin would show up for
This
it.
partying with.
Yeah.
And then someone said that the guy to his left is like a D version of Tim Ripper Owens.
This guy?
Yeah, a D version of.
Well,
Tim
he's
Ripper
got
Owens.
one thing going for him. He doesn't have those ridiculous tattoos on his hand.
Yeah, a carbon copy of a carbon copy of a
Yeah.
carbon copy type of
Oh,
thing.
he cut-
Then, if you go to the right of Danny Coker, we have
Okay.
Julian Lennon showing up. Julian Lennon showing up at the party.
Well, did this guy?
Yeah, Julian
Oh my
Lennon.
God.
If you look at his face,
Oh
he's
yeah,
like
that's
doing
right. The face.
ball
He does
cap-
look. He
you
does
could-
have a
yeah,
John
took the ball
Lennon
cap-
look to him.
Yeah, and then the guy to the right, someone said, "Is that Jason Greenbaum?"
Too
Which is
tall.
very similar.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then down below, someone, I think
This
I saw
guy.
a comment on someone said, "Is that Sammy Hagar when he's 95?"
I don't know
You
who that
kinda
guy.
see. I don't know one knows. Yeah, these are just random. And then someone
Yeah.
said Ronnie Radke over here being Stacey
him?
Blades. Yeah, and then I for a second when I first looked at the photo, I thought that was like Tommy Chong's son, Little Chong. Yeah, if you actually put
Yeah.
Mancuso the way he looks right now, if you put him in the remake of Cheech and Chong, he could be Chong.
He looks like he
The
could
glasses,
be like
the
a
red,
younger
the beard,
Jerry
the hair.
Garcia too. I mean,
Yeah, no, if they make a Jerry Garcia biopic, they need
Yeah.
to cast Ron Mancuso as Jerry. And then lastly, this was just my thought. Who's the guy that looks like he used to be in Crowbar?
this
Over
guy,
here?
I have
Over
no
right.
idea. This doesn't even look like a guy that Trunk would hang out with.
He looks like the kind of guy he was either a roadie for I Hate God or Crowbar.
Raise your horns high.